Now that you are young and healthy, this is the time you need to have that kind of coverage.
What age are you looking at when you're talking about being young?
You can start from the age of day 15, from a baby. When the child is 15 years old and above, that child can get a coverage. So imagine a client that started at the age of 10. The father has already done that for the child. Do you know that the down payments that young man assessed to do his down payment for his house came from his coverage? And meanwhile, the coverage is still ongoing. Imagine you have a child of 15 days, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And you have the kind of properly structured coverage I'm talking about. Now, the child that is that age, imagine when the child is getting to his school at age 17 or 18. The child has already built a good cash value that can help that child to pay for his tuition fee. That's one way. And the child is still covered in case of any eventuality. Imagine that kind of situation. Then that kind of, because they are very young, the cost of that coverage is very, very minimal. Very small. So most of the fund that goes into way of contribution goes into an investment.
Hello viewers, welcome to the Business Hub, and right here we are on Building Black Wealth with Mr. Israel Iyamo. It's been an awesome time all the way. So in today's episode, we will be going deeper into what we discussed previously on protection, and it's interesting that when we talk about the foundation, most times, as a layman, I was asking Mr. Israel, are we about to build a house? But I think I am getting more knowledge now. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice having you here today. Mr. Israel, I celebrate you one more time.
Thank you.
It's been a great time all through, and I think it's been beautiful and illuminating.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Now, last time in the last episode, actually, you talked about the importance of property structured coverage. So, can you throw more light on some of these items you talked about?
Okay, I mentioned some of those items that is a composition of a properly structured coverage. I talked about the importance of compounding interest. That means there is investment in properly structured coverage. I talked about probate court-free death benefit. I talked about tax-free death benefits. All these are issues of debt. Then the living, the living advantage, that's the one that hasn't to do with debt.
Yeah.
Talking about critical illness. I also mentioned terminal illness. Then I also mentioned the other type of illness that's, different category of illness. That they also mentioned access to cash.
Yeah, that's right.
Because when you mentioned coverage in a community, racialized or black community, a lot of people, the first thing that comes to their mind is debt.
That's true.
So if it's debt, then we'll not be talking about access to cash. You don't need to die. You don't need to be sick. You are healthy. In fact, I have a client that had this kind of coverage. After some years, the client actually wanted to, because it started at a very young age. So that's why we're encouraging a lot of our viewers. Now that you are young and healthy, this is the time you need to have that kind of coverage.
What age are you looking at when you're talking about being young?
You can start from the age of day 15, from a baby. When the child is 15 years old and above, that child can get a coverage. So imagine a client that started at the age of 10. The father has already done that for the child. Do you know that the down payments that young man assessed to do his down payment for his house came from his coverage? And meanwhile, the coverage is still ongoing. So we have what we call a $1 million baby. $1 million baby. That means a child that is born. I mean, we have a lot of people that are giving birth to kids now. They are not thinking of putting something in place because the idea or the mindset is that when you talk of insurance, say, God forbid. God forbid. And children can die if you want to look at the extreme angle, but that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at creating wealth for yourself, for your child.
Sorry for interjecting. You talk about the $1 million baby.
Yeah.
Can you throw a little more emphasis on that?
Okay, I know you'll be interested.
Yes, I will, definitely. But I don't want you to lose your line of thought, actually. We'll go back to where.
Yeah, I'll throw, let me just quickly mention it. I mean, imagine you have a child of 15 days, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And you have the kind of structure, properly structured coverage I'm talking about. Now, some people even have the government, they usually collect CCCB, right, from the government, which of course is expected you use it for something. Either you invest it on RESP.
What's CCCB? Yes.
Child benefits, Canada Child Benefit. So people have this, coming to the family.
Okay.
They can use it for the child education prepare. But most importantly, you can use it for this kind of investment I'm talking about now, the properly structured credit, right? Now, the child that is that age, imagine when the child is getting to his school at age 17 or 18, the child has already built a good cash value that can help that child to pay for his tuition fee. That's one way. And the child is still covered in case of any eventuality. Imagine that kind of situation. Then that kind of, because they are very young, the cost of that coverage is very, very minimal.
Oh, really?
Very small. So most of the fund that goes into way of contribution goes into an investment. I don't want to go into investment. I'm just trying to, keep myself focused on this area. When we talk about investment, people don't know that even the Wall Street, the financial institutions, people go and invest their funds. They take this fund and bring it to this portfolio. Run into billions of dollars.
I'm wondering why the attachment on that phrase, the $1 million
baby. Yes. $1 million baby. I know you're interested. Imagine you paying.
No $1,000 baby.
No, they can be. I mean, we are talking about the target is.
Okay, there could be $1,000 baby.
$1,000 is just. Before you contribute 2 or 3.
So there could be $1 billion baby.
There could be, depending on what you are putting there. But a $1 million baby is that, just doing a contribution of maybe $200, for example, for a child at that age, in this kind of properly structured or whatever. And because that child is very young, the contribution is going for that child continually, with the kind of rate of return that those kind of funds we put it return as a coverage. Remember, they are invested. Yeah. I did illustration for a client using single digits, either 6 or 7%. But the actual performance of that fund is double digit, 15, 16, 20, sometimes even 30%. This is not a financial advice, but I'm telling you that this is practical. This is what I've done for a lot of my clients. So once you do that kind of contribution continually, the child can access it while going to university, and you don't need to bother about student loan, because that's another problem, debt. Or you leave it to also grow, and the child can access it when he's doing a major event, maybe wants to get married. Otherwise, if you leave it to age 60 or 65, you get nothing less than 1.something million there. So that child, without building any factory, without using his academic whatever to work, you have already set that child for success. And you know what? The father is the owner of that is the owner, the child is insured.
One challenge is that most people are living from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So it becomes so difficult to, apply this principle.
Okay. Can I shock you?
Please, sir.
Okay. Most of the times, in fact, 95% of the time, because whatever we are doing, everything has to do with affordability. I agree with that, absolutely. But I've come to realize that it's not just because of affordability, it's because of priority. Priority is the major thing. A lot of people don't know how to budget. They cannot separate their needs from their wants. And most times, we tend to engage in frivolous purchases. Yeah, there's a video I did about some time ago, about 2 or 3 years ago. I say you are richer than you think. Why? Because when I sit with clients and do the financial diagnosis, I discover that most of the times we just live to impress people.
That's right.
We live to impress people. If they call for birthday party and my friend is doing something, and our local pal, I say Asoebi, everybody wants to buy. So before you buy 10 Asoebi, if you convert that money, it will go a long way. It's not because the money is not available, but because people tend to, put their values on something that is not going to benefit them. I asked somebody the other time, do you have a car? He said yes. Because I did, so it's okay. You'll be paying XYZ dollar monthly or yearly. It's like, should I go down later? I said, okay, no problem. But I asked him, please, pause. Do you have a car? He said yes. How much insurance do you pay for your car? The guy said about $450. I said, you will pay $450 and you seem to be comfortable paying the insurance, right? He said yes. How come you are not complaining? Yeah, that's what they told me. But you are comfortable paying for the insurance. Do you know that everything you have paid for that car insurance has gone for life? It has gone for life. Not that when an accident happens, it's not that the insurance is going to take care of the car, not the human being. But this same person might find it difficult because it's a matter of understanding the values. Imagine 450. If this person is putting that on a properly structured credit, that person in no time will retire with 1.something million.
The car is a necessity.
Yes, that's what most of us will say. But do you know what you can do without it?
So are you advising them to do that?
I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to, put everything in context.
Yeah, because I'm looking at, there are people who are low income, and trying to also make sure that what they navigate, manage themselves. These are some of the things that they actually have to, spend their funds on, their money on. You talked about insurance in a car. The rent is not also as friendly as we could just look at it and say.
Yeah.
So people are also trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Especially with the way the economy is presently. So when some of these that are needs that are necessary that you have to make sure that every month, most people are afraid of month end, right? So because of the several
so
things that happen around.
My response to that is this. We must reprioritize the kind of things that we see as very important. Do you know that the poverty could, as a result of some of these things, that will affect somebody? Let me read the statistics for you.
Yes.
I mentioned about critical illness. I mentioned about terminal illness, and I also mentioned about chronic illness, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Now, look at the statistics. Say, cancer is the #1 cause of death in Canada. #1 cause of death in Canada. Now, this will shock you. It's that 1 in 2 Canadians will develop cancer in their lifetime. Are you getting this?
I'm following.
1 in 4 Canadians will die from cancer in Canada. Then they say over 239,000 Canadians were diagnosed with cancer in 2023. Just imagine a family that's complaining about this now, for example, and you don't have anything. Remember, we talked about the financial foundation.
Yeah.
You are making savings wherever. It could be in the Wall Street financial services industry. Yes, it's good. You are making effort, you are making savings. You are trying to save something. But do you know that a single diagnosis, a single effect of this can turn that family around from the situation they are saying there is problem to worse. So when we say we are building Blackwell, these are some of the things we want our community to understand. Imagine a family of two. Both of them they are making effort to take care of the home. Imagine one person in that family having a cancer situation. Remember, there are 4 critical illness conditions that are at the top. There are 25. Canada today, they have 25, but there are 4 of them that accounts for over 85% of the insurance claims. Over 85%. The 4 of them are heart attack, cancer, stroke, and aortic surgery. Imagine a family having that kind of situation. Because when I ask my clients, I say, how many months forward can you live without paycheck? Just imagine you don't have that kind of foundation. Imagine it, just sit quiet. We have people in our community, we have friends, we have relatives, we have church members, we have people in the mosques. We've seen this happen from time to time. But because we didn't pay attention to them, or we think it will never happen, God forbid. It doesn't mean that these things will not happen.
Okay, Shajwe, I am really, I'm trying to put myself in. I'm looking at also those who are really, in a situation whereby their income is actually a challenge right now, trying to make sure that they pay their bills and also begin to look into these aspects of ensuring 1 or 2 things and all that. So, but I know we have so much to talk about in this line, but before I let you go today, because of our time, you said something last time. So I wanted to ask what you meant, when you said the non-availability of proper protection is one of the most causes of poverty, or most common causes of poverty.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine the statistics. This is just one out of the 25. This is just one. I'm in several social media groups and I see GoFundMe. GoFundMe is a corporate way of begging.
Polished way.
It's a polished way of begging. And whenever that request comes, I'm going to go into my pocket and assist that family. And if, like you said, I quote, I'm managing to help myself, can you please see that is not going to be a solution? GoFundMe is not a solution. I know the economy is tight. People are struggling. For those people, we know that, okay, when they have some level of income, then the best method is to understand this thing. If you have the person understand some of these things we are talking about, then the person will be able to prioritize. However, I've seen several cases people think that they are struggling. What they consider as cost. Like I told somebody, I said, this thing you just like you said, I'm paying this. I said, will you treat your savings or investment or putting something aside for your future as a form of cost? Can you treat it as a cost? If you treat it as a cost, then you'll be thinking differently. And the person says, he just said something. I say, yes, treat it as a cost. Treat it as an expense. The most important thing that can happen to anybody is to pay yourself first. Most people don't pay themselves first. So when situations like this happen, everybody, you throw the family into problem. And you know what? This person maybe has a mortgage. So I have also made those kind of mistakes in the past. So I'm speaking not just with authority, with good understanding of
From experience.
from experience. We acquire liability, we think it's assets. I'm not talking about people that are in the street. Sometimes those people that are in the street, go and check the background. It's as a result of some of these things we are talking about that took them to the street. They didn't plan to get to the street. They didn't plan to get to the street. Those kind of things took them to the street. Because when any of those kind of situations happen, and you don't have something that is going to cushion it up. You remember talking about the risk transfer? Either you transfer risk, or you want to keep the risk, or you want to avoid the risk. So which one will you prefer? It's risk transfer. And this thing doesn't cost much. With $1 a day, you can get access to a coverage.
You said risk transfer is better.
It's better.
On that note, we'll bring today's episode to a close. Thank you so much, viewers. I hope you had a good time. And our financial expert is here with us, and he's coming back again. So you just get ready, because I think it's just getting better and deeper. Thank you, Mr. Israel Oyamu.
Thank you very much.
It's been an awesome time with you. Thank you so much. All right, viewers, that's our show for today. Thank you.
Business in Nigeria. It started as Actimel,